Hello everyone, it's Trip Keeper here, and on today's video I'm going to be talking about Xylazine, or better known as Tranq or the zombie drug. This drug is very powerful. If you guys haven't heard about it, you come to the right place because I will be talking about it, giving my thoughts on it. We'll watch a video here and we'll look at these links up here. I saved just quick look, we'll see what happens, but I really want to do an in-depth video on this, so if you're in the comments right now, please tell me if you want me to do an in-depth video. Maybe you don't know right now. Maybe by the end of the video, you're like, okay, maybe I want something more in-depth. But for right now, we're just doing a little reaction type thing. That's a weird word to call it, but an overview maybe is something, an improvised overview. This is full-on Trip Keeper here. I don't want to delay this any longer. We're going to watch this video here because I am close to Cleveland, and I've been watching Fox 8, and they're my favorite news station growing up, so we're watching theirs. Seriously, this drug is taken all over. It's going all over the world. I believe it started in Philadelphia, Kensington, but don't quote me on that. That might just be where it's most popular. It's the capital of it for sure. Because you'll see these zombie people walking around. You'll see them everywhere. Just look up Kensington, Philadelphia, and you'll see these people all over the place. And it's presumed that they did do Tranq. So yeah, it's a sad world we live in, and I just feel so bad for these people that have to suffer through this. Whether it was their own fault or peer pressure, or just got born into the wrong family and got caught up with the wrong friends. It really doesn't matter what happened. I feel bad for everyone equally. It really sucks to see people in this position because they were once an innocent child and now they're walking the streets like a zombie and being made a statistic. Really tragic. Bless anyone out there who's struggling with this or has family, friends struggling with it. Maybe reach out to them and be like, hey, I need you here. I need you here, man. I know maybe probably won't be able to do anything with that, but hey, at least they know you care. Just because you never know how long they'll be here for. And I wish I would have known that with my cousin. She tragically passed away. I wish I could have told her I loved her before she died, but that's life, I guess. Don't want to get carried away, but yeah, it's and they don't have to be addicted. Just tell all your friends that you love them. And it's good to say that to your family and friends. Just do it. All right, we're going to get started with this video before I get sidetracked here. The Tranq, Xylazine.
It's a drug that turns people into a zombie-like state and has many names and deadly combinations. The zombie drug officially...
All right, you see that? This is why they call it the zombie drug, because there's people all over that look like that. They're hunched over and they just look like a zombie, basically. Like you watch The Walking Dead or Zombieland, whatever zombie show there is, movie. That's what they look like, and it's really terrible. And also, if you can see this right here, my mouse is pointing at, that's the wounds that they have on the hand. If you want to see some vile, disgusting images, go look up Tranq wounds right now. If you're squeamish, do not do it. Trust me, you don't want to do it. But if you're curious like me, I had to look them up. I was going to show them on here until I saw what the hell they were. So I'm not going to show them on here, unfortunately. I don't want YouTube to age restrict this video again like they did with the last one. But yeah, go check that on your own because they're too graphic to show on here. Trust me. If I didn't have like a big following, well, not a big following, but like if I was a small YouTuber with a couple hundred subscribers, yeah, I'd show them. I wouldn't care, but I gotta stay civil on here. A little civil, I'll still go out of bounds, but yeah. Just go look it up if you want to see. It might haunt your nightmares though, but that's why I gave you a warning. Just if you're squeamish, do not look it up. But yeah, it's bad.
They called Xylazine, known as Tranq, is exploding nationwide. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration issuing a public safety alert, calling Xylazine, a powerful FDA-approved veterinary sedative being mixed with illegal drugs, a deadlier threat than fentanyl. And now...
Mixed with drugs. Fentanyl's already dangerous, and you got this mixed in with it. And if you did look up at those wounds, you came back to the video, yeah, that shit happens. It's honestly, it's probably worse than crocodile. Like, I used to look at crocodile images of people who, had their flesh coming off. Looking at these Tranq wounds, I mean, it's pretty comparable to it. It looks pretty bad. It might be even worse. I really can't tell. But yeah, it's bad that this is taking, like, honestly, people are better off, just the government giving them heroin to do, because if they're going to be addicted to something and then they're getting this shit, I mean, it's probably the government's plan anyway to implant this into us, but they did it with crack. Why not Tranq? So yeah, it's just tragic seeing this crap. I hate seeing people addicted to stuff like this, where it's like you can clearly see that their body is fucked up and they look dead. They look like zombies, and they can't do anything about it because they have to take it. You can't stop it. And there's safe places for people to do drugs like heroin and fentanyl, but you can't even trust what you're getting nowadays because there's this shit in it, and the other stuff you gotta worry about too. Not just Tranq, but this is probably the most dangerous stuff that's in there right now, because it's very popular too. That's the thing. There are more dangerous stuff that is lingering in the United States and the world, but since this is so mainstream and popular now, this is the most dangerous drug on the planet right now.
Oh, it's in Cleveland.
This is absolutely the worst that I've seen it.
Carol Negus is the director of nursing at Stella Maris, one of the oldest freestanding drug treatment centers in the country.
It is definitely in Cleveland. People overdosing in our lobby, trying to get them out of it. We just had somebody last week, actually, that we think was using it, that we sent out via the squad. Because she was totally unresponsive.
A 2022 DEA and Department of Justice report called the deadly drug mixture a growing threat. The number of xylazine positive overdose deaths by region is skyrocketing, with the Northeast.
Yeah, look at that. The South, man, I don't know what the hell happened in the South, but some shit happened, because that's a huge increase. Now, I'm not going to go the bottom one, Midwest and West. I mean, those are smaller numbers, but compared to, it's a big increase, but from 116 to 1,423, that's insane. And that's just 2021. I can't imagine what it looks like now. Jeez.
Seeing the highest two-year total. The Midwest reports a 516% increase in deaths. In Cuyahoga County, the medical examiner's office reported 18 deaths associated with xylazine last year, all mixed with fentanyl. And according to the DEA, a comprehensive count of these deaths is widely underestimated.
People are still thinking.
Yeah, there's definitely underreported deaths out there. There's definitely a lot more.
That we're in this opioid epidemic, and really that's not true. What we're really in is in a synthetic drug war, basically. All the drugs are cut with everything.
And now it's easier than ever to get.
You can buy any of this stuff on the web, on the dark web. You can buy things from China on the web. They'll send it to you in the mail, and it's very hard.
As a mailman, you can honestly get away with this shit. Like, I'm not even fucking with you. I've seen some shady ass packages come through, and I'm like, I wonder what's in there. Probably some research chemicals. Yeah, it's the internet is filled with shit. As long as you have, I don't know. The worst that could probably happen is that they seize it, but I would never buy drugs off the internet. That's just. You never know what could happen. That's a bad idea. Don't do that.
To police the black market.
This is our harm reduction vending machine.
The Metro Health system now offers.
Okay, that's pretty badass.
Xylazine test strips and wound kits for patients who may experience necrosis, the rotting abscesses associated with Tranq use that can.
For people that didn't look at the images, just imagine what's under those bandages. Yeah.
Cause amputations.
We provide the xylazine test strips directly to the patient, and the patient would use those test strips to test their own illicit drug supply.
Reducing the risk of overdoses given Narcan is not effective at combating xylazine as the drug continues to increase.
Wow. Yeah, because I know Narcan has saved a lot of lives. If that shit doesn't help, that just shows you how powerful Tranq is.
Increase in popularity, those on the front lines combating it have a message for people who think this problem could never hit close to home.
If you have teenagers and high school kids or kids going to college and things like that, that you really need to make sure that they have a clear understanding of what is out there, because they very innocently could be going to a party and think that they're, just going to try a Percocet or something like that, and that could be the last Percocet they ever take.
Right, yeah, shit can be laced. That shit is bad. I like what this woman is saying. She seems very informed. She's doing God's work in this country, because there's a lot of people that probably want to have her job. Like, I would love to have this job for her, but she's clearly well informed on this, way more than me. And I'm glad she's like trying to help. That we like to see. This is a good person right here. But yeah, if there's some bad shit, if you're at a party, like seriously, if you're a teenager, I mean, if you're my age, like 23, older than that, maybe a little bit younger, you should know that your shit can be laced. But if you're a teenager and you're at a party and they offer you pills, I mean, hey, I got lucky back in the day, because I used to just take whatever was thrown at me. Right now, luckily, I don't do drugs anymore, but when I can't believe I got through that stage of my life, and I'm so happy that this drug was not popular. Like, I never did anything hard or anything, but I did do it like an Addy every once in a while, and about an Ambien, but those were all from prescription bottles, so I never really had to worry about it. But I never came across Percocets or Oxys or anything, so even if I did have the opportunity, who knows what would have happened. So but I know that there's a lot of kids nowadays. I mean, we got TikTok, everything else in social media. Like, there's a lot of pressures on these young kids, even though everything's at their fingertips. That just makes it worse, and they just want to escape reality even more than before. And it's a real shame that they can die just simply by taking one pill that they thought was an Oxy or a Perk or whatever. A lot less dangerous than what they thought it was going to be. So yeah, if you're a parent watching this video right now, please tell your kids, like, hey, just be careful. If you ever feel like you're dying, seriously, just call the ambulance. Don't worry about someone getting arrested. Just fucking call the ambulance. But if it's a psychedelic and you're freaking out, okay, maybe hold off on that. But if you took a drug and you're like really you're having symptoms of dying, definitely call the ambulance. I know people are afraid to call the cops because they don't want to get in trouble, but you're still gonna get in trouble if you don't call, because that person's gonna die. So it just doesn't make sense. You might as well have the person survive. I mean, yeah, might serve jail time, but hey, you're still going to serve it no matter what, unless you get away with it, which is not possible. So yeah, just be careful. Tell your kids, watch what you're taking. If you need me to pick you up, if you're a parent, they're drinking or whatever they're doing. And if they just, don't be afraid to tell them, like, hey, I understand when I was your age, it was crazy. I used to party all the time. Even if you didn't party back then, with a lot of sympathy for these kids. Just help them out.
And boy, what a way to lose your child.
In Cleveland, Maya Belai, Fox 8 News.
Okay, Fox 8. Thank you so much, Fox 8, for that. Like I said, they're my favorite news station. Yeah, this is the article. I have a couple articles up here, and yeah, this is just basically just a reaction video to it, just seeing everything, getting a basic knowledge on it. Like I said, if you want me to do a full in-depth video, please leave it in the comment section below, because I would be willingly to do this. So it'll be fun. Not like fun, but it would be interesting to research this, because there's a lot of information on this now, because it's getting so popular. This is from WebMD. You guys can read it if you want. I'll just scroll really slowly, see what the hell's on there. Oh, it was invented by Bayer. Fuck you, Bayer. Cocksuckers. But it wasn't for humans, so anyway, but still, fuck you. Cats Man, imagine your cat on this shit. It's not FDA approved for use in humans. Oh, I wonder why. Sold as a clear liquid. Wow. In animals, it can kick into effect in just a few minutes and lasts up to 4 hours. Holy crap. That's insane. If you see these, Anised, Xylazine, Rampin, Sedazine, I don't pronounce those right. If I did, yay, but I probably didn't. If you see those, be scared. Be careful. It's not federally controlled. Oh, well, they need to do that. They need to make it controlled. That's bad. It's been popular long enough where they should have fixed it already. Like, I don't care if vets use this. Like, they can find something else, because this is just, they need to throw all this shit out. They're gonna find a way to get it anyway. People like the prohibition with alcohol, but really just try to lessen the supply of it. It's mixed with heroin, fentanyl, coke, enhance or modify. Similar high to opioids. Speedball, we all know what speedballs are. Besides Tranq or zombie dope, is known as Tranq dope or sleep cut. Imagine how they got those names. Sleep cut. Like, that sounds, I could just picture that right now when the people thought of that name. Sleep cut, bruh. Like, I'm sleeping. Sorry, I'm just reading this now. I'm kind of like getting lost in this with you guys. Here, I'll move on. Sorry. Move to this. I thought this was pretty cool. Little infographic made by Philly. You know, like I said before, Kensington, drug capital, intravenous capital of the world. Yeah, this is a crazy stat. Tranq was found in over 90% of dope samples tested in Philly in 2021. 90%. That means if you had 10 samples, 9 of them were in there. Like, that's a lot. If you guys need this number, I'll leave it up here for a couple seconds. Yeah, if right now in the comment section below, just let me know what you think about this drug so far. Like, did you hear about it before I started talking about it? Like, I'm sure you probably heard mention of it, but never really looked into it. I've been like looking at it sort of like from the outside. I haven't really been researching it. Like, this is the most I've done so far for this drug. And like I said, I'll do it in depth and we can get the full knowledge on it. Yeah. Here, this is here's another video from Portland. Portland is an interesting city. I'll say that.
Beyond the headlines, known on the street as Tranq, Xylazine has been linked to one overdose death here in Portland.
According to harm reduction experts, people might not even be aware that they're taking it. Emma Jerome joins us live with what it is and what local experts are saying about trends here. Emma?
Good morning, Ken and Emily. Xylazine, or Tranq, is not very prevalent in our community. This is according to harm reduction experts who say that while we've tracked that one death, they don't want people to blow it into a larger scale than what it actually is. However, they say they are very much keeping a close eye on trends and use of the drug in our community. Tranq, or Xylazine, is an animal sedative used in veterinary practice. It's not approved for human use. And in addition to increasing the risk of overdose when mixed with other drugs, continued use of Xylazine can also lead to flesh wounds, skin ulcers, abscesses, and related complications. It can also cause some serious blood conditions. Haven Wheelock is a harm reduction manager at Outside In, a nonprofit in Portland working with people who use drugs. She says one death does not make a crisis, and she urges the public to continue to have compassion.
I do think it's something that public health should be monitoring for, that healthcare should be aware of, and know that if they start seeing some of these wounds or complicated overdose events, they should know that that is a possibility. But I think one like fatality does not necessarily indicate that it is the new thing sweeping our community.
And people might not even...
Honestly, one will lead to another, and you just never know from there. That all starts with one. You gotta remember that.
Even know that they are taking xylazine because it is commonly cut into fentanyl. We log ads since it's not that prevalent in our community. We do not know exactly how to deal with it. She says we don't have good withdrawal protocols and don't yet know how to treat someone who is using Tranq and wants to stop. She says in the meantime, the best practices that harm reduction experts continue to push are the best. Do not use drugs alone. Test your drugs if you can, and always carry the opioid overdose reduction drug Narcan. Reporting live in downtown Portland this morning, Emma Jerome, Coin 6 News.
No offense to people that live in Portland or people who like that news station. And I'm not one to say because I'm not a news reporter or anything. And clearly I don't do a good job at improvising on here. But you need new reporters. I feel like when you're talking about this drug, you should, put fear into people. And they didn't make it seem scary, because, well, there is only one, but you just need to let people know about this, so people who are like doing fentanyl and stuff already, like maybe they could be on the lookout if they start getting like bigger wounds and stuff. Maybe they can be prepared for it instead of being blind. But these people are making it seem like it's not a big deal. You never know. By next year, maybe your town's gonna be the biggest home of that shit. So you never know. One, like I said, it starts with one. COVID, that started with one person. And it went throughout the whole world. And then this one is for, you guys probably see it before me. Wichita, so it's Kansas, okay.
Warning of the dangers of fentanyl as it becomes more prominent in Kansas and across the country. Sedgwick County Sheriff Jeff Easter says it has been a growing issue since 2019. He says one of the problems is many people do not have access to addiction services.
The folks that we deal with on a regular basis that are just in and out of jail, they don't have insurance. And so they are very limited. And we've got to expand the treatment possibilities for folks that do not have insurance.
He says a new, deadlier form of fentanyl is now in Sedgwick County. It's mixed with xylazine, a horse tranquilizer. The Biden administration declared the so-called zombie drug an emerging drug threat. Well, drug overdose is rising significantly in Kansas. KDHE data shows there were 275 overdoses deaths in 2011. It skyrocketed to 678 in 2021. Of those, more than half involved synthetic opioids like fentanyl. From 2012 to 2021 in Sedgwick County, there were 245 deaths involving synthetic opioids.
Tragic. Truly tragic. Yeah, it's going all over the place, dude. This is... Man. We'll watch this one more, and then we'll go from there and probably end the video.
Is Tranq. They say it's showing up in more overdose deaths. Here's News 2's Mai Owens.
It's being called the deadliest drug threat this country has ever faced.
Big these holes all over you, these sores in your legs and wherever, they just pop out of anywhere.
You'd see people kind of like walking around looking like animals when their knuckles are touching the ground.
It's a potent mix of fentanyl in the drug Xylazine, now known as Tranq. The DEA seizing the drug in 48 states.
Fentanyl, of course, is reversible with Narcan, but Xylazine doesn't have a reversal agent that's useful. And so the effects of it will hold on and can put a person in a pretty risky situation because their breathing and heart rate will decrease and put them at risk of death.
Tonight, the Metro Public Health Department warning others. Overdoses where Xylazine is detected has been rising.
I believe it was around 40 deaths last year where there was some indication that xylazine was involved.
The drug Xylazine meant to be an animal tranquilizer. It's not an opioid, so the life-saving drug Narcan won't work. The drug causes...
That's just crazy. Like, you would think all opioids, since they're, they help pain and stuff, that would be at the top of everything, but not being an opioid, that's insane.
People to develop severe wounds, rotting human tissue, and may lead.
Yeah, that's just that video, the images they just showed. That's a light version of what the actual wounds look like. That was not as bad, trust me.
To amputation.
I had like a hole in my shin, and I could literally put 2 fingers in there.
Now, Davidson County officials are trying to minimize potential harm by warning others, because that's simply all they can do. With so many drugs on the market, overdoses are bound to happen.
There are new formulations, new ways for people to use drugs, and new drugs that seem to come into the market continuously, and it's difficult.
My Owens, News 2.
That's what the world is like, man. Once you're done with one drug, another one comes in like this. It's terrible. You know, it really is. I don't know. That's a DEA's website. They seized it out of 48 out of 50 states. I wonder if those other two are like Alaska and Hawaii. It probably was. Yeah, so there's some things you need to note about this crap is that Narcan does not reverse it. That's like the biggest thing. So if you're addicted to fentanyl, heroin, this won't help you. So overdose levels are probably a lot higher than actually on fentanyl. Oh wow. When they overdose on Tranq, it shows that they be 8 to 72 hours. That's a lot. No drug test for it. They'll probably create those pretty soon, I'd say, once this gets bigger. Because I'm comparing this to COVID. Once it started, Wuhan, China, came all the way over here and the whole world, and that's what this is doing. I think I saw it. It was in Australia and Scotland, if I'm not mistaken, before starting this. So yeah, it's going all over the place, and it sucks because this is basically crocodile, with the way what's happened to the wounds. I mean, there's worse stuff in crocodile because it's actually like paint thinner and shit, but it's basically doing the same thing. I mean, it sucks. This is like the new age crocodile, bro. And it's not the drug by itself. It's just the mixing with others like fentanyl, heroin, coke. Really sucks that this is out there. And I don't know how much better it's going to get. If I had political influence, maybe if anyone listened to me, I would definitely try to fix this. I don't care. This is a lot of people like to take a blind eye to what the hell's going on in places like Philly and shit like that, where there's these zombie people walking around. But man, we should all focus on that because that is still part of America, and it's all over the world, of course, but I'm not familiar with other countries and how they're doing with drug addicts and stuff and people like that, but over here I know it's pretty bad, and yeah, we just need to do something about it. The government probably won't. They'll probably like Joe Biden, he said that it's a deadly drug, but whatever he labeled it as, a threat. You can say that, but are you going to do anything about it? I don't know. Usually politicians don't do anything about it. So sometimes you just need to, you need to do it yourself. That's how people get shit done. Just do it yourself. Like these harm reduction places, like in the first video with that woman, we need more of that, and more safe places for these people to go and shoot up if they are shooting up, and make sure it's not Tranq. Like be able to, find out what you're doing before you put it in. That's the first step probably, because it's going to be hard to get rid of this shit completely, and they're clearly not going to because, if the DEA seized it from 48 states, maybe it won't be in vet clinics anymore, but like I said, it'll still find a way. Prohibition. History repeats itself. Two different things, but yeah, I want to go more into depth with this, but my knowledge is very basic on this right now, but I hope maybe you learned something today, and if you really want me to talk more about it, there will be more information coming on it in the next couple months, probably. Who knows how long this will be here, probably be here forever, honestly, because fentanyl hasn't left, heroin hasn't left, but it's a sad trajectory what's going on. Like, thought heroin was bad. We're like, oh no, heroin is the worst drug. And then fentanyl, oh no, fentanyl is the worst drug. No, Tranq is the worst drug. What's next? That's what I'd like to know. I don't want to know because I don't want to find out. I don't want there to be a next one, but inevitably there will be a next one. And this drug, Tranq, will still be existing. Fentanyl will still exist. Heroin will still exist. But they probably won't even be the actual drug. It'll be mostly other drugs that are worse than them. And it's just sad. And I'm just so glad I was never born into a situation or put into a situation where I have to do these drugs. And I'm blessed. And I will never do it. I will keep my distance away from it. I have a full-time job. I own a house. Doing this YouTube channel, trying to do harm reduction practices, trying to help you guys so no one else makes the same mistake as some people who are unfortunate enough to have. And yeah, I just want to make the world a little better. I'm not going to make the world, I'm not going to make a big difference, but a little difference here and there, I'll take it. I just want people to be informed, that's all. I'm not trying to persuade anyone to do anything. I'm just trying to inform people. That's all I'm trying to do. All right. Thought I'd go over that a little bit. I'm sitting on my couch right now, and this has kind of just become a weird video, but you know the basic gist of it now. And like I said, if you want me to do it full in-depth, leave in the comment section below. I might do a poll in my community, see what people say. Going improv versus an actual written out script, which one's going to be better? Yeah, we know the answer to that. All right. Bless everyone out there who is suffering from addiction. Anyone, family, friends, themselves. Bless your hearts. I hope you get through it. Hope they get through it. And if you ever just need to talk, if you're going through addiction problems or your friends are, like I said, message me on Instagram. I'll be wide open to talk about that. If you just want to get something off your chest, give you any advice, I'll be there for you. Like I said, I want to help. All right. Have a wonderful day, guys, and just be careful out there, man. I'm praying for y'all.